Starting Be'ez Hashem Siman Chaf Daled of Maamar Shevuos. And the subject is the Shevuos Shelo Yidchaku Saketz, because up till now the Rabbi discussed the Shevuos of Shelo Yalu B'choyma from the Siman Yud until Siman Chaf Gimel, and the Shevuos Shelo Yimrdu B'umo is kind of self-explanatory, so he didn't spend much time on that. And now he's up to the Shevuos Shelo Yidchaku Saketz, because there are really 6 Shevuos, right? B'choyma, Shelo Yimrdu, the Umas Ha'olam Shvuah, not to persecute the Jews too much, and then Shelo Yigalu is Hasoid, Shelo Yigalu is Haketz, and Shelo Yirchaku is Haketz.
In some gears it says Yirchaku is Haketz?
Right, in some gears it says Yirchaku. And Rashi says, if you go Yirchaku, it means Ba'avoinam, to cause the Ketz to come later because of our Averis. And the other pshat is Yirchaku, which Rashi says it means davening too much. And the Rabbi is going to speak about that now. And then he's going to speak about what he considers to be the majority opinion about that shvuah, which is not Rashi. Rashi says it's tefillah, but the other Rishonim plus
even the Maharal says it's tefillah. Maharal says they shouldn't daven too much.
Yeah, the Maharal brings it. Okay.
Yeah, in the Chavdal that they shouldn't be daven too much.
And Rashab also, Rashab.
The Rashab says it. Yeah, I didn't know. Okay. But
besides, anyhow, even if for a year as a gates, it still goes against Zion because they say dual Averis Yisrael, dual Averis Yisrael. So it still goes against them.
Okay. Umeata avoy levayer hashvuah hashlishis. I'm going to explain the shvuah, the third shvuah that's nogea to this inyan. Shelo yidchaku is a case. V'tzorech lahavin pirushay, not to force to end. So we have to understand what this means. V'nei Rashi zal pirish lashon doichak shelo yirbu b'tachanunim al kach yoyster midai. Rashi says forcing means davening too much, praying too much for the geula. L'chayre ain't a move on klal. He says, l'chayre, this is very, very difficult to understand because mahu akvul shel tachanunim yoyser midai. What's the limit? What's called too much? How much is too much? Haloi b'chol tefillas yastu lanu lispal al geula. That Chazal make this when they made the siddur. The whole siddur is full of tefillas for the redemption. Gam b'tefillas shmon esrei shetiknu l'chol Yisrael loyim shalosh pam b'chol yoyim. Shmon esrei, which we say 3 times a day. Yesh ba harbe tefillas ala gula. There are many tefillas there for the gula. Kabetz nichei Yisrael and Shiva shoiftenu and Estemach David Avdecha Boyin Yerushalayim. And it says V'al binyan Yerushalayim with Smichas Karen ben David, building of Yerushalayim and Mashiach. But tzadikim master nafsham b'choleis b'tefillas ha'elu. Tzadikim daven even more than they needed to, even more than the fixed siddur. And they davened a lot and wasted nefesh for it. How then is it possible to know what's the limit? How much do you have to do to be over on this shvuah? Okay, so he's leaving this kasha for later. He's not going to get back to it now until much later in the Sefer. What'd you say?
Well,
yeah,
I say Lubavitch have crossed the line already.
That's going to be met. So later on in the Lameds, he's going to speak about what this means. Maybe in the Chav Ches a little bit, touches on it. We're going to see later in Mitzvah Shem.
But I say Lubavitch have crossed that line.
But Rabbi, you mean?
What do you say?
Rabbi,
he's going to bring down the Maisa with Rabbi, right? Rabbi Ubanov. And he's going to bring down the Chassam Sofer, who says that it was Yosef Del Arena. You ever heard Yosef Del Arena?
Who is that?
He was early Achron. He was a Makubal, and he did Kabbalah things. He said Shemus of Hashem, Hashbois of Malachim, in order to bring the Ketz. It's a famous folk tale. But the Chassam Sofer says that's the kind of thing that's usher under the Shevuos Shelo Yidchaku Ketz. I'll come on, but the Rebbe is going to speak about that later. But right now, he's going to turn to the other pshat. Omnam Rambam Zal B'Igeres Teiman. In his letter to Yemen, the Rambam wrote a letter because in Yemen there was a story in the Rambam's time that there was persecutions against the Jews. A different government took over there, Shia Muslims, and they persecuted the Jews, and they people needed a Yeshua, and all of a sudden this false Mashiach got up in Yemen and claimed that he was Mashiach and claimed that he did Moifsim and.
Let's get back to Eretz Yisrael as one from Yemen.
Yeah, and he wanted to save the Yidden from the Xeris of the country.
And he did say to the king of Yemen, cut my head, you'll see I'll be resurrected. And he cut his head off, and it was gone.
Yeah?
In the end, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it ended? Okay, I didn't know. So the Rambam wrote a letter to the Rambam asking them what to do, and the Rambam said, this is a Mashiach Sheker, don't have anything to do with him. And he gave them the chama, how to resist the pressures of the times, and how to hold out in Galus. And then at the end, B'Sayfa, at the end, Pirish Shvuazu, he explains that this Shvuah Shelo Yichus HaKetz goes on Mashiach Sheker. It goes on false messianic movements. She'oisim hisoirus legeula terem she'igia hazman. They make an arousal for the redemption before the time. The cost of Vizel Shoina, the Rambam says, because Shlomo knew with his Ruach HaKodesh, Uma Hazois, that the Jewish people, but Zman Galusa, during the length of its Galus, because the Galus is going to be so long, Tziftzar, they will pressure Lihis Noyea to move out of Galus, Beloy Ita, before the proper time, Haroi, V'yoivdu b'shvil zeh, and they'll perish because of this. Shlomo Melech saw. V'yavoyu aleim saros, and he saw that saros would come upon them. V'hizir milas tohizois. Therefore, Shlomo wrote a warning not to do this. V'hishbiyahu umma al derech mashal, and he caused the people to swear. He forced them to swear. He placed an oath upon them al derech mashal, through a mashal. And Pashat Pshat, the mashal means here, the Rambam means the mashal of Shir Shirim, because the whole Shir Shirim is a mashal to an Isha and an Ish. But the Rebbe is going to have his pshat later on. So he says, V'omar, the Rambam says, the Pasuk says, Hishbati eskem, V'atem achenu ahuvenu, our brothers and our beloved ones, Kablu aleichem hashvuasoi, accept his shvu upon you, V'al to'iru es ha'avad shetechbatz. Don't arouse the love to the geula before it's desired. Ad kan l'shoinai. And Maisa, this Rambam is an interesting thing, because you see that the Rambam learned pshat in this shvuah in a way that it's mamash like it's like Ruach HaKodesh about our times, because this false Mashiach in Yemen didn't make much progress towards being Mashiach.
Yeah, but they do very strongly, and they claim that all these signs are signs of Geulah.
There hasn't been a movement in Jewish history that's been as successful at being a false Mashiach as Zionism, not anything close. So it's obvious that when the Shlomo Melech wrote these words, this is what he was referring to. The Rambam learns it on the Mashiach that was in his time.
Yeah.
But is there also some kind of Targum also references in the Targum on that? Why the first two says into altar?
Yeah, we're going to get to that. That's going to be later in this session. He's going to bring it down, and I have it here. Okay. So see from this Rambam that he's not learning the Shvuah like Rashi. Rashi says too much tefillah. The Rambam's saying no, it's going on false messianic movements.
So the Rambam had Ruach HaKodesh for Zionism? He was referring to?
Well, I don't know if it's the Rambam that had Ruach HaKodesh or it's Shlomo Melech, but the Rambam was mechavan to the pshat in Shlomo Melech's words in a way that you see that it's really predicting what happened now.
And the Teimanim suffered more from Zionism than all other Jewish ethnic groups.
That's true. They were
yes,
camps.
Because I told you, because Hajamina Husseini, the Mufti, who was born actually in Yemen, wrote a letter to Yemen about what was going on, with Jews at the time in Palestine. How Jews are a danger to because they are in Palestine. And that's how, let him being terrible, people live there for over 2,500 years. That's like being bad for just about how well they lived there for so many years.
Okay, v'chein hu b'chol ha-midrashim, and this pshat is borne out by the midrashim, because you see in the midrashim that the shvuah means efforts, not prayer. Medrash Rabba v'tanchuma mechilta v'yalkut u'shar midrashim. So he has a list here. He doesn't say exactly what the midrashim say. We'll look it up in a second. But he says pirshu shvuas elu al bnei Ephraim uben Koziva. He says that the Medrash learns that the Shevuos are going on people who do actual efforts, like Bnei Ephraim, Ben Koziva, and others who did.
Even Rabbi Akiva believed Ben Koziva was Mashiach at some point, until he saw that he had no success.
So if you believe someone is Mashiach, then he's not a false Mashiach, he's a true Mashiach, so that's okay. The problem is that once they realized he was false, and he continued with his movement,
the problem with the Ben Koziva movement still continue after Eretz Yisrael, Bar Koch, but we tried to redo what Koziva did.
No, he's the same person, Bar Kochba.
Oh, same person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ben Chuziva is just that was his real name. Bar Kochba was his like.
But, yeah, but he was still believed, so Jews got killed out of Rome even more so afterwards, because they still insisted that he should still be Mashiach even after his death. After his death,
they still said it.
No, they didn't.
No, well, until his death, they said it because they were
when he died,
fighting on
he was in the war. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, already, yeah. That's what it goes. Yeah.
So likach la'atzmam geula u'memshala terem azman haroi v'nichshulu al yidei zeh, and they taka stumbled because of this. Rachman litzlan bepuranius kasha. They had great punishments, umara and bitter. Ad moed Hashem yisbarach yishmerenu. Okay, so take a look at the first Maamar sheet. Medrash Rabbah Shia Shirim Bittul Beis Pasuk Zayin, and it starts with Rabbi Unya. It's here it is. Rabbi Unya Omar, Dalad Shevuos Hishbion. There were 4 oaths, and this goes back to what you asked me once about the fourth pasuk Yishbati Eschem. There's 4 psukim Yishbati Eschem, so he's learning them all now. 4 oaths keneged Dalad Doires Shadach Kuas Ala Kates V'Nichshalu. There were 4 times in history when Jews tried to be doiches a case. Ve'elu hein Echad b'mei Amram, ve'echad b'mei Dinai, ve'echad b'mei Ben Kozava, ve'echad b'mei Shuselach Ben Ephraim.
Who was Dinai? Who was Shuselach Ben Ephraim?
So this is the hard thing. So Ben Amram, take a look in the Pirush Marzu at the bottom.
Yeah.
Reb Zev Wolf Einhorn, a couple hundred years ago, he writes that. Let's see. Bnei Ephraim. Gotta find it because it's highlighted.
I think it's a Bnei Ephraim we're talking about. But who was?
Who
was Dinai?
He says, we'll get to that in a second. I don't know where the Medrash gets this thing about Amram. How do you know in Amram's time there was an effort to be over on the Shua? Ulai Doirish Masha Kasav Shmuel Aleph Beis Chav Zayin. Pasuk in Shmuel Aleph, it says, "Hanigloi niglesi leveis avicha." Hashem said to Eli, "Did I reveal myself to your fathers?" In other words, to Amram. B'yoisem b'mitzrayim lebeis paroi. Pir she'iyah b'mitzrayim lebeis paroi. That they should continue being slaves to Paroi and they shouldn't break out. V'lo yimrdu, they shouldn't make a rebellion. Okay? Ubeis avicha b'mitzrayim hu b'mei Amram. This is referring to a nevuah that was said to Amram. Ukamash kasiv Yechezkel chaf pasuk hey and vav shenishba lohem. That Hashem made a shvuah to them. This pasuk in Yechezkel says he lifted up his hand as a lashon shvuah. V'hoitziam me'eret Mitzrayim b'loi me'atzmam, that he will take them from Mitzrayim and they won't go out on their own. Okay? That's how he learns Amram. And then he says, Umasha Kosta b'mei ben Dinai uben Kozava zehaya b'bayis sheni.
Well, who was Ben Dinai? I never heard of this.
Okay, I never heard of it either until I looked in Josephus. I tried to look up who this person was. He says there was a person named Elazar ben Dinai who was a criminal who tried to lead a rebellion against Rome, and the Romans put him down.
So,
what?
Like the Bar Yonim?
Like the Bar Yonim, except it was a little before that.
And who was Shuselach ben Ephraim?
Oh, so Shuselach ben Ephraim was the part of Shevuos Ephraim that tried to be moired against.
He was their leader?
I guess he was the leader, or maybe that was the name of the family of Ephraim. Shuselach was pretty close to Ephraim in the Yichus. Shuselach b'nei Ephraim, was he directly b'nei Ephraim? I'm not sure. Could be. So this is the famous story of the b'nei Ephraim that broke out. Look at the Medrash Vayter. The Medrash says, "Shenemar b'nei Ephraim." Noishke roime keshes. They were kissing the height of the bow. Vehein hayu mechashvin b'shah shenigzra gzeira. They calculated when the gzeira was made at the Keshadibra Kodesh Baruch Hu Avraham Avinu. When Hashem said to Avraham that there's going to be a slavery in Egypt, bein abisarim umishanoylad Yitzchak kischil. So he said 400 years, and they started counting those 400 years from the time of the bris bein abisarim, which was 30 years before Yitzchak was born. And in reality, it wasn't supposed to start till Yitzchak was born. So they ended their cheshbon 30 years early. So ma'asu, what did they do? Niskabtsu v'yatsu l'milchama. They went out to war. V'naflu mehen chalalim harbe. They went up to Eretz Yisrael and they fought against the Plishtim. And a lot of chalalim died. In the Medrash, in another place in Parshas Shalach, the Medrash says 300,000 of them died.
Wow. And
their bones were piled up. And that's why Hashem didn't want to take the Yidden out of Mitzrayim through the Eretz Plishtim, because they would see these bones and they would get scared. Mipnei ma loy haminu ba mipnei ma. Why did this happen to them? Shaloy haminu b'Hashem v'loy batchu b'Yeshuasai. Because they didn't believe in Hashem and they didn't have bitachon. They didn't have trust in His Yeshua. They wanted to do it on their own. Al she'avru al haketz v'avru al hashvua. They went against the end. They went before the end time, and they went against the shvua. Okay. And by the way, Rashi in Parshas V'Shalach brings this down too, because Rashi says that when it says Chil achaz Yoshe Plashas, trembling seized the people of Plishtim, Rashi says because they were afraid that the Bnei Israel would come and take revenge for what they did to the Bnei Ephraim. Yes. All right, so he says, but you see from this medrash that all these things are efforts; they're not just prayer. Okay. Uva medrash Rabbi Shiur in base siyim achakach. The medrash ends off. Mahu ad shetechpatz. What does it mean until it is desired? Ad shetechpatz malchus shel ma'alon. When the kingdom of Hashem in Shemaim, when He wants lichetechpatz midas hadin, when His midas hadin, when His His attribute of justice wants to bring it. Me'elecha ani midas hadin. To put the comma there, Me'elecha ani meviah b'koil koilis. I will bring the geula on its own with great noise and v'lo yasakiv. I won't prolong it. L'chach nemer ad shetechpatz. Uvetargum Yonasan al shir shirim pirish gam kein be'elu hashvuos. Targum Yonasan also says that the pshat in the shvuos means efforts, physical efforts. Deloy to zidun. Here's his lashon. Deloy to zidun. Don't do an aveir. L'mesak la'ar tichnan, to go up to Eretz Canaan, ad yehei rava min kolam Hashem, until it is the Ratzon Hashem to go. And v'chein pirish b'chol agimel shvuos, ela shepirish b'chol achas me'ashvuos al zman acher. So unlike the Gemara says one's shelo yal b'chayma and one shelo yimrdu. He says no, they're all going on the same inyan of pushing before the end, but they're going on different times of history. Okay, take a look. Page 2, the Maamar Koimish sheet, is the Targum on Kapitel Base. Basically, it's talking about the Maisa with the Meraglim, and the Targum brings down. I didn't copy the first page, but it says.
Yeah, I can't understand Targum. I don't know Aramaic too well.
Well, okay, I'll touch it. So the Targum is talking about the Maisa with the Meraglim, and then he says that the Yidden stayed in the Midbar for 40 years. They stayed 40 years in the Midbar because of the Meraglim, and Hashem didn't want them to go up early. There was the Mapilim, right after the Meraglim, there were some Yidden who tried to go up to Eretz Yisrael before the Zman, and they got punished. So that's what it's referring to. Pasach Moshe b'fume. Moshe opened his mouth, v'chein amar, and he said, Ash be'is yaschoin, I make you swear, Kanishta Yisrael, Knesset Yisrael, the Jewish people, B'Hashem tzvakos, with Hashem's name, u'v'sakife ard Yisrael, and with the strong ones of Eretz Yisrael. You know what that means? Don't do an aveir and go up to Eretz Canaan until it's the Ratzon Hashem. V'yisufun kol dare enashe krava lima mas migoy mashrisa, and all the men of war finished dying from the camp. It means all the people from the Bnei Israel who were supposed to die in the Midbar, the 600,000. Don't do like the Avera of your brothers, the Bnei Ephraim, that they went out 30 years from Mitzrayim, 30 years ad loy mata kitza, before the Kates came. And they fell into the hands of the Plishtim, the Yasvin Begas, who lived in the city of Gas. Ukatalu Yason, and they killed them. Elohim, but rather, Orichu ad zman arba'in shnin, wait 40 years, Uvasar kain yalun b'nei choin v'yachsnun yasa. Then your sons, your children will go up and inherit the land. They'll die in the Midbar and their children will go up and get it. That's the first Shevuos. Okay, on page 3, the second Shevuos, in Kapitel Gimel, he says, Hishbati, Kad shemo shiva umaya divnei Yisrael asidin lemechsan yosar rahoin. When the 7 nations of Canaan heard that the Jews were going to come and take their land, Kamu kachada v'katzitzu yas ilonaya. They got up together and they cut down all the trees. Usasimu yas mabue maya. They closed up the wells of water. V'tzadiu yas kirbeon, and they emptied out their cities. V'haraku, and they fled. So Amar, because they didn't want the Jews to have anything when they got in. So Amar kul shabrichu, Hashem said, L'Moshe Neviah, to Moshe Hanavi, Ana kayemis la'ava haschoin di'ilein la'ala yas b'nei hoin la'achsona ara. I swore to the fathers of these people to bring them into Eretz Yisrael. Avda chalav udvash. It was a land with milk and honey. So v'hechdei nanoa moyel yas b'nei hoin la'aretz sad yivrei kanya. How could I bring them into an empty land? So ka'an nanoa ma'akiv yas hoin. Therefore, I'm going to make you stay arbin shnin 40 years b'madbra in the midbar. Usehei oiraisi misarva b'gufei hoin. And my Torah will get mixed into their bodies. Means they'll absorb the Torah. In the meantime, these bad people will build up what they broke, what they emptied out. And therefore, here's the part about the Shevuos. Amar Moshe libnei Yisrael, Ashbis l'choim. I make you swear, Kanishted Yisrael, B'Hashem tzvakos u'b'chasakifei ard Yisrael, same Shevuos as before. The loy sididun, sizidun, l'misak la'ar dichnanoi. Don't go up to the land of the Canaanim ad mishlam arbin shnin. Until 40 years. And then it's to the Ratzon Hashem to give the land, the inhabitants of the land into your hands. You go over the Yarden, the land will be conquered in front of you. Okay, so basically it's going on the same time period in the Midbar, but it's just a different reason. It's not because of the Meraglim, it's because of Hashem wanted the land to be full of good things. Okay, yeah?
Do some Siyanim darshan Shalosh as a case for Zionism?
And what do you mean?
You know, they darshan the Shevuos or Shalosh as a case as a proof for Zionism.
Oh, don't put off the end. Go and do it now because it's the time. I don't know. I never saw anybody say that. Okay, now we're going to get to the third one in a minute. But look what he says. I didn't photocopy the third one because the Rebbe himself brings it down here. Take a look. He says. Ela shapirish b'chol achas. Vayoel Moshe now. Ela shapirish b'chol achas min Shevuos al zman acher. The Targum Yonasan explains every Shevuah on a different time. Ulefia Targum.
Sorry, I lost it. Where is it?
It's in the paragraph starting with a Medrash Rabbah, about 7 lines down.
Okay.
Ulefia Targum Yonasan hevanti shinui haloshen b'kroi. According to this Targum Yonasan, I understand why there was a change in the psukim of the Shevuos. Shebechol Shevuos, the first 2 oaths in Shir Shirim, Kasav Alashon im to'iru v'im to'iru. It says, if you arouse, if you awaken, which is a lashon of Shevuah. Of course, im always means a Shevuah, but it sounds like it's an if. It doesn't sound like it's for sure going to happen. Uv'shvuah ha'achroina. But on the last oath in Kapitel Ches of Shir Shirim, it says, Sheparsha Ches, Kasav Alashon ma to'iru ma to'iru. Why? What is this thing that you're arousing and awakening? It sounds like it already happened, and it's a teichacha to somebody for doing it. So, but time of boy, we need to have a reason for this. Why does the Shevuah change its lashon? Fi divrei Targum Yonasan, Shapir Shevuos Rishonis al Doris Rishonim. The Targum Yonasan says these first 2 oaths are going on Moshe Rabbeinu's time. Uv'shvuah achroina kasav. The last Shevuah he says is going on Mashiach's times. And this is what he says. I didn't copy it, so he has it right here. Yeimar Malka Mashiach. The King Mashiach will say to the Jews, Mashpia ano alechoin, Ami Beis Yisrael. I make you swear, my people Beis Yisrael, Madein atun misgarin be'amei ara. Why do you fight against the nations of the land? Lameipak min galusa, to go out of the galus. Umadein atun mardin be'chayaloisai de goy gumagog. Why do you rebel against the soldiers of Gog and Magog? Now just skip the parentheses for a second. Isakivu point zer. You should wait a little bit. Point means you should. When you put point next to a word in Aramaic, it means you should do that. So isakivu point zer. You should wait a little bit. Ad yeshetzun amamaya, until the people are gone. The people that are stopping you. The Gog and Magog. Ubaster kain yidkar lechoin mariam merachmei tzadikaya. Then Hashem will remember the love of the tzaddikim. And it will be His will to redeem you. Ad Kan. So now that was in the first printing of Vayoel Moshe in 1958. And then the Rebbe had an addition here that he added in parentheses. In brackets, actually. In brackets, right.
Brackets are meant for interpolations.
Right. So he's coming to explain now Kasha that maybe people asked him in the meantime, there was that year between the 2 printings, that what's going on here? What's this Milchemes Gog and Magog before Bias HaMashiach? We know Milchemes Gog and Magog is going to be after Bias HaMashiach. So what's going on? That Mashiach's telling the Jews before before this man comes, before the Kates comes, don't rebel against the soldiers of Gog and Magog.
Yes.
So he says, Masha Amar b'chayaloisav de Gog and Magog, afki milchemes Gog and Magog yeya achar bias HaMashiach, even though it's going to be a war against Melech HaMashiach, after Mashiach is already established in Eretz Yisrael, like you see in the Pesukim in Yechezkel, that's the way it's going to be. Yechezkel talks about there'll be a Jewish people in Eretz Yisrael, and then Gog and Magog will come. Yeah. So, those same armies of Gog and Magog, they are the same Rishaim who persecute the Jews and bother the Jews and fight with them before Bias HaMashiach. It's not shot that they're going to be new Rishaim, they're going to get up after Bias HaMashiach and they'll be Gog and Magog. They're going to somehow like come back to life. And they're going to fight with Melech HaMashiach. Those wicked, those cursed Rishaim, that the Jews suffer from them, they're the same ones. They're the same ones who are going to be Gog and Magog after Mashiach comes. So that's what Mashiach is going to say before the Kates to us, not to fight against those people. Okay. Now, V'Omar, you got the place now?
Yes.
V'Omar, and he says here in the Targum, Isakivu point zeir, you should wait a little. The Targum doesn't say in the first two Shevuos, wait a little bit. So why does he say it here? The first two Shevuos is going back on the earlier generations. There was a long time left to wait until the Geula. It was a Shevuah for a long time. Maybe it was 40 years in the Midbar, or maybe if we're talking about after the Galus, when the Galus started, there was thousands of years to go. When those Milchamas start, which are the Milchamas of Gog and Magog, and Mashiach is already here, so now it's only a little bit of time left, right? So Amar Isakivu points there. He says, wait just a little bit. The Shvuah is on a very, very short time. If the Jews would have kept the Shvuah, just a little bit more, then Mashiach would have come. Therefore, the last Shvuah says Ma to'iru. It says Ma, which is mashma a little bit. It says the lashon Ma moira shehu milsa zutrasa. Ma sounds like it's only a little bit to hold out more. Don't be so impatient.
Yeah, like moira sevelachtu Ma means just a small thing.
Right. And Kemoisha Amr b'Gemara b'Parsha Sayira, the given the cost of lashon Ma. There's a pasuk in Parshas Ekev, Ma Hashem Elokecha Shoyim Le'ilach. What does Hashem ask of you? Ki'im Le'yira, only to fear Hashem. So the Gemara asks, what do you mean? Yira is Hashem, is a big thing. So the answer is, for Moshe Rabbeinu it was a small thing.
Yeah, but I know, Moshe said Anachtu Ma was even great Avram who said Anachtu Ochi Afaveither.
Right. Ma is mashma, like, very little.
A small thing.
Even less than
Adam is also little because Adam is a Gematria Ma.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
No, it's true. Okay. Adam is also has to be little, and I think Adam is in Gematria 45 as Ma. It's just to further prove the point.
Okay, so Ma to'iru is mashma. It's only a little bit. Why are you so impatient?
The opportunity for which to come, and they still forced it.
Okay, so he says now. This is how he's going to say now. This actually happened after World War II. Look what he says. In our great sins that they did go against the Shevuah in 1948, and they didn't wait a little bit more. They caused the Galus to get prolonged. Until Hashem has Rachmanas on us, and He has mercy on his people, on His land. I'm going to explain this more later. Okay, now to explain what the Rebbe means here, he doesn't say exactly, but it's pretty clear that he means that after the Holocaust, there would have been an opportunity for Mashiach to come, if not for the Tzionim. Take a look at Hakdama to Vayoel Moshe, page Ches.
Yes.
The second column, starting with Zeb Barur, he says, V'zeh Barur ki oisay ha'rayin ha'mesuv, hu ha'ma'akiv gulasenu. This bad idea of Zionism, that's what's pushing off our redemption. Okay, and he speaks out this medrash in Yalkut that says that that in what schus will the Yidden be redeemed? In the schus of waiting. It says, "V'haya lachem lemishmeres, mi par lachem mimadai." Who saved the Jews from Madai? Mordechai ve'Esther. Mi par lachem miyavan, b'nei Chashmonaim. The Chashmonaim saved us from Yavan. But mi parei lachem mimalchus revis. Who's going to save us from the fourth malchus, from Edom? Not Truna. The waiting. V'haya lachem lemishmeres. That's the pasuk says there, that v'haya lachem lemishmeres, it will be to you for a waiting. Al toichlu mimenu na. Don't eat the korban pesach when it's raw. That means loy tevine mahavava. Don't want it when it's just a little bit singed in the fire. It's not really cooked. Upir shama zayis ranon. The Pirush called the Zayis Ranon, which was written by the Magen Avram, that he says Natruna means Pirush Tzrichim Lishmor Lahamtin. They have to wait. Loy tevine mahavava Pirush al toichlu tevakshu lecho isam behivhuv kloimer she'enu tzali kol tzarchoi. Don't eat it when it's not completely roasted. Umevur bozeh she'en lanu achshav schus acher lates min hagalus ela oisai schus lishmor lahamtin. There are only schus to get out of galus is that we have to wait. Not to have any hana from such a geula. Anyone who takes part in the state of Israel, and he eats of them, means he has hana from them. Those who have hana from this are the ones who are pushing off the geula. Sanhedrin daf tzadik ches and aleph. Ein ben David ba ad shetichla malchus azalim Yisrael. I don't know where in Vayoel Moshe itself the Rebbe brings down this Gemara. I only know of this place. That's why it's interesting. He says he brings.
Yeah, the Maharal actually has a nice parish on to prove just how seriously true it is. You know, just how the fear ad shetichla malchus azalim Yisrael, ad shetichla shalosh Yisrael, ad shetichla gasiruch Yisrael. So all these three things are intertwined, just how seriously true it is, and they have all three of them, the Zionists.
So
they have all three of them, especially Gatzei Ruach.
He says, the Gemara says in Sanhedrin that Mashiach won't come until the low kingdom has departed from Klal Yisrael. Pirush Rashi zal shaloi tehei lohem shum shultanis liYisrael afilu shultanis kala v'dala. That the Mashiach won't come until the Jews don't have it, until the Jews have no memshal, no government at all, even a low one. You see from this that government has to be gone. The government of the state of Israel has to be gone before Mashiach comes. So as long as it's here, it's pushing off the coming of Mashiach. Mashiach can't come in any other way. That's what's pushing off the Gula. He says this is what the Rambam says in Yigeres Teman, that the Jews will perish because of this. That when you need to have Rachmanis, that Hashem will arrange for the Medina to be bottled in a peaceful way, not through a war with the nations. If Chas v'shalom it does happen through the nations, he sakana gedola l'Yisrael can move on. It's obviously going to be a big sakana. Okay, so that's one place. But again, I see the Rebbe says here he's going to bring this memory of Ein ben David Ba. I don't know where in Vayoel Moshe he brings it.
Nitrona means to wait, or Nitrona means to guard, like in a ture?
It's the same idea. Waiting and guarding. Lashon HaKodesh and Lashon HaRam is the same word. Lishmor, to wait or to guard.
So then that's why the organization is called the Nitrona, right?
Yeah, it's named after this medrash. Okay. And the other thing is in Siman Chav Ches. It could be when he says, I'm going to explain this later, he means Siman Chav Ches, where he says that the Yismach Moshe says, just look at the bottom line of the next page, page Mem Aleph. Yeah. He says, Ki harishayim hamakdimim behevel heim garmu arichas agalos. The Yismach Moshe says the Rishayim, he's not referring to Zionism because he was way before that. He's referring to Shabbos Tzvi. He says the Rishayim who are makdimim behevel, they're trying to accelerate the Gula with hevel, with nothingness. Heim garmu arichas agalos. They caused the lengthiness of the Galus. Bahar Shiam laharbe Yisrael. When they did rishas to a lot of Jews, moed moed. Okay, so he also says this Indian that people who do Techikas HaKetz are really pushing off the Geula.
Oh, just that it's saying one thing, that doing the Techikas HaKetz is also like starting Shabbat before the 7th day. The same way, if you start Shabbat before the 7th day, it's a Toeva Mamish.
What? Why can't you start Shabbos early?
No, I'm saying you could start, a couple early, but you still can't earlier than you're allowed to.
Oh, not too early.
So
right,
somebody who started, let's say, said, I'll wait 5 days instead of 7, then he'll be the beast Toeva. He'll be Michal Shabbos when it's really there, and he'll totally fake what Shabbos really is.
Well, you're not allowed to keep Shabbos on a weekday?
No. No.
Okay.
Definitely not. That's why we make Havdalah purposely, to show that we're not keeping Shabbos on a weekday. Purposely Havdalah for that. And so there will be cool Shabbos Shiur comes. You're not start this cool Shabbos early. And if you do, you're going to miss out the real Geula then. Just like you'll miss out the real Shabbos if you start earlier than you're allowed to.
Yirmiyahu Moshe said the earthquake in Sfas was a punishment for the Talmidei Vilna going to Eretz Yisrael.
I'm not sure if he said that or not. I don't know if he was alive in the time of the earthquake in Sfas. I have to check.
So I read that in Avias Ravitsky's book.
Just to prove the point.
You heard about Avias Ravitsky, right? You wrote that book, Messianism, Science, and Jewish Religious Ethics. An excellent book, very objective. He's famous.
Okay.
He's quoted in Rafkin's book.
Who wrote it?
Avias Ravitsky.
I think I've heard of it. Okay, take a look at page 4 in the Maamar. I just want to show that the Brisker Rav said the same thing that the Satmar Rebbe says here. He says,
Rabbi Yitzchak
yeah, Rabbi Yitzchak Zev, the Brisker Rav, Amar Hagoyin Hagadol Rameir Halevi Salvechik Shlita. Rameir, the son of the Brisker Rav, said, Maran Agriz Zatzal Diek B'Shir Hashirim B'Psukim HaMasirim Al Gimel HaShevuos. He was medayik the Psukim there in Shir Hashirim Shehi Shpiach Kodesh Baruch Hu Yisrael. They have a pasuk echad kasev lashon im ta'iru. The first two oaths it says im. Well, the pasuk acher, the last one it says kasev mat ta'iru. So remember the Rebbe said that it means that it's going right before the Geula, so there's only a little bit more to wait. Listen to what the Brisker Rav says. He has a different shot. For his beer, he explains to koyal shnei matzavim bizman hagalus. It's going on two different types of matzav. The Shlomo Melech Olav Shalom Tzafa Baruch Kadshay. Shlomo Melech foresaw Shiagia Matzav Sha'anashim Mizera Yisrael Yirtzu Lichos HaKetz. He foresaw there would come a time when Zionists would come and try to push for the end. V'yastu Memshal, they would found a government Bizroya Bosser with their hands, with their own strength. Cohen Bias HaMashiach. V'al Cain. Therefore, Batchila, he's here she'aster la'asor Cain. The first two oaths, he said, it's aster to do it. V'yamar b'lashon im to'iru. If you do it, it's going to be bitter. Don't do it. V'al matzav sha'achrei hakamas Medina. The third oath is going on after the Medina is already here. She'dechikas haketz v'hisgaras b'umos yehapchu kvar l'metzias. It's already going to be a metzias that this dechikas haketz is here in the world. So then he's going to say, Amar b'lashon mat to'iru. He's going to say, why are you continuing? Now that you see that making a state didn't help you, why are you continuing with this bad path? To fight against the nations. Why are you spilling Jewish blood like the deer and the gazelles?
See, just to say it further, don't be surprised that they're making thinking Mashiach is here. I'll tell you what, if somebody, let's say, says he'll start Shabbos on the 4th day or on the 7th, he'll end up not putting on tefillin on the 4th, they'll put on tefillin on Shabbos instead, and even end up giving tzedakah on Shabbos by carrying money. So only proof will happen when you try to think there's a Geula, you'll end up being mevatel mitzvahs, which only when there's actually a Geula. So don't be surprised they're being even mevatel Tisha B'Av or trying to twist around the Torah as if Mashiach is somewhere already here. The same thing would happen if you would start showers early, you would miss some mitzvah say and do Geula when you have Averos, thinking you're doing a mitzvah.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised.
Now we're running out of time. I can't really read all these things, but take a look just on page 9, the last page. I have something I found online about the Lubavitcher Rebbe. That even
the last one or Rashab?
No, the last one. Menachem Mendel. Even he also agreed that the Medina was Ma'akiv the Geula. This is a very interesting story.
How unusual! I thought he believed that.
Yeah, I read that in Alan Adler's article, Piety and Politics.
That what?
In the case of the Satmar Rebbe, that he also said
that what?
Was a violation of the Shalosh Shevuos.
Yeah. So this story is basically that the printers, the Schulzinger brothers, worked for Lubavitch a lot, and the Lubavitchers asked them to make a calendar, and they wanted to put Yom HaTzmaut on the calendar.
Oh, really?
So Rabbi Chodakov, the Rebbe's secretary, erased it. So they got very angry because they were big Zionists. They said, "What's going on? You can't erase Yom HaTzmaut. You have to put it on the calendar." So they argued with him, and basically he said no. So they went to see the Rebbe to argue with the Rebbe. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe, yeah. So these Shulzinger brothers went into the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and they said, how could you leave out the Yom HaTzmaut? It was the Aschalta de Geula. The Rebbe said it wasn't Aschalta de Geula. Then they raised their voices. They tried to plead with him. They said it's at least a good thing for Klal Yisrael. So he says, the Rebbe said, no. Not only is it not the Aschalta de Geula, not only is it not a Yom Tov and a day of salvation for the Jewish people, etc., but this delayed the Geula for such and such a number of tens of years. So he's saying that basically the Medina did delay the Geula for a certain number of years, and it says they don't remember how many years.
Well, how unusual. So the false Messiah admitted that it's outside of the Geula. Well, maybe I'll tell you, maybe the reason is because he considered 770 to be the Beis HaMikdash, and he viewed it had to be brought into Eretz Yisrael. So maybe that's the reason he said it can't be there, but it had to start from Crown Heights. Maybe that's why. Because he did actually explain that 770 is the pre-Beis HaMikdash.
So that's what these brothers went back and they said to people, the Lubavitcher Rebbe is a bigger fanatic than the Satmar Rebbe. So it says it's on this blog, chabadtalk.com. Anybody can look it up.
How unusual.
Anyway, then there's a Kedushas Tzion I brought here, but I don't have time to read it. Just take a look yourself. It's on page 6 and 7. He also brings the Targum Yonasan. That's what I thought was interesting about it, that he brings the same Targum Yonasan. By the way, the Kedushas Tzion was the Baba Rebbe before the war. He was killed in the war, and he wrote this Sefer Kedushas Tzion al Torah, al Tanakh. This is on Tanakh, on this pasuk in Tehillim, and basically he mentions Zionism here. He says there was a movement. Biyamenu elu kamu lahem bnei blial haporkim me'aleim ol Torah ve'ol mitzvahs umadichim es bnei Yisrael liyos kechol hagoyim liv lois lahem memshala atzmis, that they're porki all that got up today that want to leave the Jewish people to build a nation for themselves. And they convinced themselves this is the Geula. Everybody knows this is a lie. It's against the idea of what a Jew is about. And then he brings the Targum Yonasan on Shiur Shirim that Mashiach will tell us not to violate the oath. Okay. Finishing up Siman Chav Daled. Al Kapanim Mevur Gam B'Targum Yonasan Apirish B'Ashvur Shal Dechikas HaKetz. You see, the Targum Yonasan learns not like Rashi that the Dechikas HaKetz means actions. Shaloi L'Hisgaris Be'amei Ara L'Meipak Min Galusa. Not to fight against the nations to go out of Galus. V'Shaloi L'Hazi L'Meisak L'Ardi Chnan. Not to go there. It's Yisrael Adia Hey Rabba Min Kadam Mari Alma, until it's Hashem's will. L'Mifrak Yisrael Min Galusa, to redeem the Jews. V'Zeu Kedasa Rambam Zal U'Kemavur B'Chol HaMidrashim. This is stems with the Rambam and the Midrashim, that it's an action. It's not a. I just want to add in here. There's one more Mar Mokum that I forgot to cover. It's on page 8 of the Mar Makoimis, and it's the Brisker Rav, who said the same thing that the Satmar Rebbe said, that after the Holocaust there was a Hisoiris for the Geula Shlema, but because of Tzionis it was passed up. We passed up that chance. Take a look, page 8 of the Mar Makoimis. It says Siper Morenu Rav Agoin Rav Agadol Meshulam David Alevi Soloveitchik Shlita. Be'ez Haskamas Ha'um, when the United Nations agreed al Hakamas HaMedina, the Kislev Tafshin Ches, November 1947, Amar Marna Grizatzal, the Brisker Rav said, Ki ko'es acharei kol atzaros shel hashmada hanazis be'Europa, after all the tzaros of the Nazi Holocaust, ha'ya eis ratzon l'dnei Hashem. It would have been an Eis Ratzon before Hashem to bring the Geula. If we would have davened for it now, we would have been Zoichim for Biyas HaMashiach now. Now that Jews were joyous and happy over the Medina, and they said the Medina is the beginning of Geula, they caused that in Shemaim also, Hashem should also say, okay, enough, they took their Geula, that's what they got, nothing else. So, you see, it's the Satmar Rebbe, and it's the Brisker Rav, and the Lubavitcher Rebbe, like we saw, all said that there would have been the Geula after the Second World War if not for the Hakamas of Medina in 1948.